Going now. 5, 4, 3, 2. And the time now on Spin Radio in the UK is 6:55 p.m. We've got our next guest on the line. Who's calling and where are you calling from?
I'm Shabs Baig and I'm calling from Cheshire in England.
In the UK? Yeah?
That's correct.
Right. Now, Shabs, just tell me a little bit about yourself, because about the artwork that you do, and also how you got into artwork. And I do know that you've been doing it since you left school. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah. So it all started after I left school, and I the local newspaper that I used to read, I approached them to be able to draw for their children's magazine. So I started my art career as a cartoonist illustrator for a children's magazine, and then I gradually ended up drawing for the main newspaper as a main cartoonist. But even before I started with them, I had always had this ability and urge to draw, to paint. It comes to me just as, like I breathe. It's a natural instinct. So that was 27 years ago, and that was the only way I could think of making money just after having left school. But as we moved on from there, people started asking me for commissions, things I could draw for them. And as and when I used to sort of have a need for money, I would paint and then try and exhibit and offer my paintings to whoever was willing to have them, buy them, acquire them. And over the years, I have had my collectors in a few countries. Some of my collectors are in the United States, some of them are in Spain, and a lot of them are here in England. I currently exhibit through a company called The Other Art Fair, which is by Saatchi, and I exhibit with them in the United States, in Los Angeles and Chicago. In fact, if things improve, then in June I'm due to exhibit in Los Angeles for 4 days in the 3rd or 4th week of June. And in England, I have got a bunch of collectors who keep coming back to me, and there are families spread all over the UK, in Bath, in London, in Edinburgh, in Manchester, in Cheshire, York, Sheffield, where people collect my work. And to be fair, when I set out to paint, I would have never thought that people would collect me or collect my work. But thankfully, people who do like my work, they seem to want more than one pieces. So I do commissions as well. I mostly paint nature. I love nature. I love landscape. My favourite artist is Van Gogh, and his work has influenced my thinking a lot. And of course, I have had a chance to go and visit parts of France and where Van Gogh used to live and work and exhibit. So currently, Paul Smith, the designer brand that we know of, they started as an interior design firm. They sell some of my work. There's a series of my work based on kites. So Paul Smith Design Studio in London, they represent some of my work. And Saatchi, through the Other Art Fair, they allow me to exhibit mostly in America. In England, I have exhibited in Manchester, in London, in Chester, in Windsor, in Newbury, through art fairs like Contemporary Art Fair, through Chester Art Fair. In fact, as we speak, I have a queue of commissions that I am having to delay, which is quite a fortunate position to be in, and I'm thankful for that. I mostly paint animals and landscape. I mostly do it in impressionistic style, which was the style that Claude Monet and Manet and Pissarro and the famous impressionists used to paint in order to be in touch with where it all originated from. In 2019, I did a road trip all the way from France to Venice, and that was to go and see where these famous impressionists used to live and what inspired them. So yeah, no, I really love it. In fact, my friends would sort of say to anybody who would talk about me or my work that when I talk about art, when I do it, I come alive. And of course, like many people, I've had jobs that that allow you to pay your mortgage and, you know, survive. But thankfully, in my mid-40s, I have reached a stage where people identify me as an artist more than the degrees I've done or the fancy jobs I've had. So I have been fairly busy all throughout lockdown. As people are working from home, the sale of artworks has gone up. According to John Lewis, it has gone up by 300%. And I have been at the receiving end of it. So thank you to all my collectors, customers. And it has been an amazing year, though we are all locked in. But touch wood, and thanks to all my customers and collectors, that it has been a great year so far. So I am due in June in Los Angeles. So if things go normal again, then hopefully we'll be exhibiting again.
Well, very best of luck with that, Charles, because not only that, but to paint to yourself, that's a form of relaxation, because it's something that you like doing, isn't it?
That's correct. You know, art can be used as a therapy. In fact, if you look at any artist, the mind goes 100 miles an hour, and it's a natural instinct to cope with it, which compulsively makes them want to paint. In fact, I would recommend to your listeners that you don't have to be good at drawing in order to get the benefit of it. Even if you're just drawing a line, even if you're just making a flower like a child, then there is something magical about the whole activity that makes you focus on what you're doing and you forget all worries. It's a very good coping mechanism for anxiety, for anything to do with mental health issues.
What sort of paintings do you like doing the best?
Well, I have been told that when I draw water, when I draw reflections, when I draw the reflections of nature in water, that's my forte. And then when it comes to animals, I am known more in America for bulls and bison. I identify with the animal. I grew up on a farm with a guard bull. So, you know, things that you are scared of or intimidated by are things also that you are curious about. So yeah, mostly landscape, reflections of landscape in water. I mostly paint with acrylic paints because that suits my temperament. I work at a fast pace, and I guess as I age, I'll probably move towards oils because I'll become more patient. But
yeah, go on. Yeah.
But right now, because I work at a speed and I like the paint to dry so I can work on the next layer, acrylics suit me, ink suits me, charcoal suits me. So mostly acrylic on canvas is what my favorite medium is. And impressionism or impressionistic work is mostly what I do. I also do drawings of ravens and bulls and stags and things like that.
Shams, now, if people out there want to check out your work, as it were, is there anywhere online where they can do that?
Yes, they can. My website is paintingsandprints.co.uk. So paintingsandprints.co.uk. My Facebook page is Blue and Beige, the colours. Blue, A-N-D, and then B-E-I-G-E. So on Facebook, if you look for Blue and Beige, and my website is paintingsandprints.co.uk.
Right, okay. Now, is there anything else you want to tell us?
Well, all I would say is thanks to all my collectors. I'm full of gratitude. Gratitude is my attitude. And all the best to your listeners. It's a great opportunity that people who work in the field of art and craft get a chance to sort of speak to you. Thank you to you guys. And if I would say